Football is a game of gentlemen, they say. But sometimes the game gets heated up and tough, and players turn to beasts, unleashing dreadful tackles on their opponents.
It's one of those tackles where Ramos had committed himself to the ball.
Here are the 7 most brutal fouls in the history of football. John Terry was known to be one of the toughest defenders in England, and in this League Cup match, man wanted to show that he could not just defend, but also be a threat in front of goal. The score was 1-1, and Chelsea had a chance to get up front from a corner kick. And while Terry launched to go for the header, an Arsenal defender tried clearing the ball away from the box with his leg, which collided with Terry's head. Wham! Terry was on the floor. He swallowed his tongue and was unconscious for a moment. Fear gripped everyone around him, but there was no cause for alarm. After the medics came around, Terry was fine, but only lost memory of what happened. Chelsea's panic was written off with joy as Didier Drogba scored the winning goal in that match. And that's not the only brutal foul in the Premier League. This time, an Arsenal player was the victim. At 19, Ramsey was a blooming talent that everyone wanted to watch. And in this match against Stoke City, he was doing what he knows best, skillfully moving past his opponents and dominating the midfield until Stoke City's Shawcross put an end to the show. Shawcross was engaged in a duel with Ramsey and made the first contact, but he couldn't reach the ball. His first contact hit Ramsey and broke his leg. Shawcross got a red card for his brutal foul, and Ramsey, he was injured for a long time, and many feared he would never play again after that incident, but he returned to football and continued playing. He wasn't the only Arsenal player sidelined due to injury for that long. This next case almost had the whole stadium turned upside down, and it was an utter display of chaos. El Clásicos are legendary. The most bitter rivals in Spain get to face off against each other, and it's not always a friendly atmosphere. It was a Spanish Super Cup match in 2011 between Barcelona and Real Madrid, and both sides were determined to get their hands on the trophy. As usual, the debate on which Spanish club was better would start getting answers from that match in that season. Both teams proved to all why they were the contenders of the biggest Spanish club. As one scored, the other matched up. And that happened more than once. But in the last minutes, Barcelona had the upper hand and were leading 3-2. At this point, things got tougher. Tired and frustrated, Marcelo made it worse when he launched a violent attack on Fabregas from behind and got a red card. Hey man, that was so unnecessary. The drama got tense when Marino pinched Barca's coach in the ear, and while the coach was still trying to protest Marino's crude act, Piqué and Ozil started their own show. They pushed each other, and boom, commotion everywhere in the pitch. It took a while before things got calm. Marcelo is not usually aggressive, but when you see this other Madrid player, you know aggression is written all over him. When it comes to playing in an El Clásico match, then it's hyper-aggression. Pepe is no gentleman in his approach to defending, and in a Copa del Rey quarter-final match against Barcelona, he unleashed the beast on Lionel Messi. Messi was proving unstoppable in that match. He was frustrating the bulk of Real Madrid's defense, and Pepe stood up to stop Messi. He fouled Messi and didn't even stop at that. Messi was still on the floor from that foul, and Pepe did this. He stepped on his hand, and Messi felt a rush of pain. The referee didn't even notice, and at the time, there was no VAR to vet the situation. But the referee checked the replay of the match on our YouTube channel. He checked out our other videos and liked them all. He even hit the subscribe button. Well, Messi stopped being a crybaby and got up to continue playing. He scored the winning goal not long after. I guess a brutal foul is not enough to stop the GOAT. Pepe, however, apologized after that match, claiming it was unintentional. But I doubt that though. Pepe's foul on Messi was intentional, but Thomas Mueller might actually be innocent on this one. It was the 2018 UEFA Champions League final. You know how things are in finals, and not just any final. It's the final match of the biggest competition in Europe. Players are always ready to play it out with the last drop of their blood. The game was tense and hot in the 75th minute, as Bayern Munich and Ajax Amsterdam held on to 1 goal each and sought the breakthrough goal. Right in the midst of that, Thomas Mueller wanted to control a long pass with a high kick, but wasn't conscious that Tagliafico was going for the ball with his head. There was a collision, and Mueller hit Tagliafico's head with the studs of his boot. It was a horrible foul on the Ajax man, who fell to the ground and was lacerated. The medics saved the situation anyway, but that was the end of the match for Thomas Mueller. He was shown a red card immediately. 1 year later, in the 2010 FIFA World Cup final, Spain played against the Netherlands. It was a clash of the titans, and both teams were a force to reckon with. Spain was actively known for their tiki-taka possession-dominating style of play, and the Netherlands, they were fast and hard to beat on the break. The game had a smooth flow before the 28th minute, but suddenly, things went south between De Jong and Xabi Alonso. The tie was still at 0-0 in the 28th minute when De Jong launched a tackle against Xabi Alonso. The situation was unpalatable because, looking at the replay, that seemed to be like a kung fu move from De Jong. Anyone would easily judge that as a red card offense, but not the referee. He only issued De Jong a yellow card as a warning. This made the Spanish team furious. They were calling on the referee to change his decision, but no, he just ignored their rantings. The Spanish team played zealously, determined to lay their hand on the trophy despite De Jong and the Netherlands team. They were appeased a little when they saw that Xabi Alonso could continue playing, and luckily for them, Spain ended up winning that match and lifting the World Cup after Robben missed a golden chance. Okay, the last one. Manchester United played against Leeds in September 1997, and during that match, Roy Keane and Holland, Erling Haaland's father, had several clashes. At some point, Keane wanted to trip Holland, but he injured himself and leapt off the pitch. It took him 3.5 years to recover. But guess what? Roy Keane kept a grudge against Holland all along. The next time they played against each other, Holland was already a Manchester City player, so the rivalry between Keane and Holland got more intense. Keane was keen on taking revenge and attacked Holland violently. He got a red card, a 3-match suspension, plus a fine of £5,000. The matter never ended there. Almost 2 years later, when Roy Keane wrote his autobiography, he referred to that incident and stated that he really wanted to hurt Holland with that foul. And on hearing that, the English Football Association handed him another 5-match suspension and a fine of £150,000. Like John Terry, some players almost lost their lives on the pitch too. Some due to hard tackles, and some others due to several other unlucky reasons. Check out this video to see 8 players who almost died on the pitch.